Today we've got another pipe review on the 101 Scout. As you can tell, this is not my 101 Scout. This is a friend of mine, Glenn, who we're going to bring on camera in a second. We have the Tab pipe fitted to this one. So we're going to do a sound comparison with the Tab, with the S&S, with the factory pipes. So check it out. G'day YouTube, welcome to Drop Bear Moto. I'm here today with my mate Glenn, and this is his stunning 101 Scout. We're going to do a review on the
Tab Performance.
Tab Performance. Already lost my plot. I don't have access to my 101 Scout anymore. I'll tell you about that in future videos, but I do have some footage of the S&S. So we're going to do a comparison today between the S&S Slip-On and the Tab Slip-On.
Sweet.
Now this is the zombie baffle.
No, this is the non-zombie.
Okay, so this is a non-zombie baffle. Wish we could try zombie, non-zombie, but this will give you a taste anyway, and probably more like the S&S to be able to hear the difference between the two.
Honestly, as loud as this is, I couldn't stand the zombie.
The zombie's an interesting one. Mrs. DBM put the zombie on her Chieftain, and at first she was stoked with it, but over time, especially touring, it wasn't there. So I know a lot of people, if you want loud pipes, just go the zombie. I think it's going to be the loudest you can get. If you want to get a good sound and something that's usable and tourable, you probably don't want the zombie baffle.
Barely tolerable with a non-zombie.
Yeah. So how did you, now you did the install yourself?
Yes.
Pretty easy to install?
Oh, it's so easy.
Yep.
Literally a clamp to remove a clamp and 2 bolts. The old comes off, slide the new one on, clamp, 2 bolts, and it's back on.
Okay, so you use the same bracket
Yes.
that Indian uses. Yeah, so that's a little bit different from S&S. I think an advantage with the S&S is that you do lose a lot of weight in that standard Indian bracket, but that install process takes a little bit longer if anyone's seen my install video on the S&S. So obviously this is more a traditional slip-on of just whacking on.
It's like a 10-minute job, really.
Yeah. Did you notice any difference rideability when you put it on at all, or is it pretty similar? It's just the sound?
Pretty similar.
Yeah.
But then again, I haven't done anything else to the bike. It's got the standard ECU, standard air filter and such like that. So no other mods. Just putting a muffler on with no other changes really isn't going to affect the performance that much because you haven't really increased the inflow to increase the outflow.
Yeah, exactly. So, no, it's good. We'll do some sound bites here. As I say, what I'll do, I'll put the original factory OEM muffler on, which is kind of stupid because you'll know it sounds like a hairdryer, but it's always good to hear the comparison, and it's good to hear with the mic because the mics don't really pick up real world, but we're using the same mic through these tests. So it's a GoPro Hero 11, I think, with a media mod. So we're using the same camera. We'll do a startup, couple of revs, and then we'll do a bit of a drive-by. I think I've got some drive-by footage of the S&S to sort of compare. So we'll try and do a comparison between all three, but I'll note on each clip what you're listening to at the time, so you can judge for yourself on the difference on sound.
Great.
So. I think this is louder than the S&S, to be honest.
It probably is.
Yeah.
It's not quiet.
Yeah. So there you have it. Hopefully you can judge for yourself on the sound clips. I think Glenn, as the owner, what are your final thoughts on the Tab pipe?
Well, I got to say, when I was younger, loud pipes were the best thing ever, right? As I've gotten older, I've gotten a little bit more considerate for my neighbors. So this is still loud. And when I start it up in the morning, if I'm leaving early in the morning, I make sure to position it between my cars in the driveway, facing the garage, to try to minimize the impact.
Yeah.
I've also, a couple of people we ride with in the Indian Riders group have told me they don't like following me because it's too loud.
Yeah, yeah.
So that being said, the pipe was very easy to put on. I like it. I would appreciate a little bit more baffling, all things considered.
Okay, no, that's fair. And I think, look, having owned the S&S pipe and heard Glenn's, I think the way I would describe it is the advantage of the S&S, and I'm really not trying to swing people either way, but it does have the built-in decibel remover. So you can actually run it with that, and it's quite it's a balanced pipe. You get a louder noise. It's definitely worth doing with that decibel reducer in, and you notice you've got an exhaust over the OEM. Decibel reducer out. I'm not a big fan of the sound, to be honest. I thought it was a little bit too bassy, a little bit too... I think it sounded better with it in, but it wasn't loud. And I think if that's what you want, this is definitely the pipe you want to go to. If you're, like Glenn said, younger days, and anyone that's followed this channel for a while knows, you know, a year, 2 years ago, I was Sawicki's all around, blowing out my eardrums. The amount of touring I now do, I would have said, "You're an old man. Stop that old man thing." And now I'm the old man where I go, yeah, I think this is a really good compromise between the two. But if you want to blow your eardrums out, you get the Zombie baffle, and that's probably going to be, you know, as loud as a 2-in-1 on this bike, which this bike is a loud bike when you open it up. So there you go. That's our review. Hey, look, if you like more content, as I say, on the 101, going to tell you why I don't have access to my 101 right now in a future video. So if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. And if you did like this content, hey, it helps if you give the channel a like. So for now, ride safe. Thanks for watching.
Everyone.
Cheers. Alrighty.